Good morning and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is Sunday, it is March 15th, and there is a Pick 6 carryover at Santa Anita on Sunday. So let's get started at Santa Anita, the great race place. So as I usually like to do on the Pick 6 carryover days, I like looking at that late Pick 5. Honestly, I'm not really interested in the Pick 6 today. I'm not sure why they carded the fourth race, which is the first leg of the Pick 6. I don't know why they put that in the Pick 6. It's a three-horse field. They probably had some better races they could have put, but I'm just kind of wondering why they did that. So anyway, that takes me off the Pick 6 for today. So I am going to look at that late Pick 5, which does start in the fifth race. Fifth race has an approximate post time, about 5:06 Pacific, so it's 3:06 Pacific, so that's 5:06 here in the Central Time Zone. Fifth race does start us off as a mile on the grass. It is a first-level allowance race, open company. These are 4-year-olds and up. And I think it's a pretty interesting race for the first leg of the Pick 5. I've got 4 horses I'm going to put in here. I'm going to put the one who is Coco-san for John Sadler, Armando Ayuso on the call. Ayuso's ridden this horse the last 3 times, including a couple nice starts, I thought, here at Santa Anita in the winter meet. He broke his maiden very nicely back in early January at a mile on the grass, which that's what they're running here. And then I thought he followed that up with a pretty decent allowance race there in the first level allowance race, which is the same level here. So I thought that was a decent run. He was a favorite that day. He couldn't get it done. He got beaten by he got beaten by Captain Chuchi's, which yesterday we saw Captain Chuchi's win a really nice race. He's on an extended win streak, so very tough to beat that horse nowadays. Coco-san 9-2. Based on the races he's run, I think it puts him squarely in line here. Maybe, Ayuso gets a nice trip from that rail, finishes up strongly. We'll put him in there. Going to also put the 2-horse was Moonlit Sonata. Moonlit Sonata comes out of the Tim Yakteen barn. Kazushi Kimura takes the call. Now, this is the first time Kimura's on this horse. I'm putting this horse in as a long shot chance. 10-1 in the program. I'm guessing we're going to probably get somewhere around there. He's run at this same level as last 2 starts. I thought he had some even starts. This third start off the layoff, it could be his prime effort here, which does happen, that third start off the layoff. I'm going to give him a shot here. This horse looks, he's shown some versatility, has run close to the front end, has also, done some closing as well. So we'll see. Maybe it might be a case where Kimura takes the lead with this horse from the 2-hole. We'll see. But anyway, we'll put in the long shot here. That would be Moonlit Sonata, the 2. Going to also put the 3-horse was Baldoro. Baldoro out of the Leonard Powell barn. Diego Herrera takes the call. Now, Herrera's been on this horse for his last many starts. Now, I thought I heard yesterday Diego Herrera is going to be going over to Gulfstream to start riding there regularly. So, wishing Diego Herrera well. I know he's a young guy. He started out as a jock very young. So, wish him the best. Maybe he'll, learn some different things riding out there in that jock's colony. And I think he's a Southern California kid, so wouldn't be surprised if we saw Diego Herrera come back, after, a stay there at Gulfstream. So we'll wish him the best. Anyway, we'll put the 3-horse Baldoro 6-1 here. This horse has shown a couple nice efforts in his last 2. Didn't get it done, finished second both times, but I thought the horse ran really nicely up against a couple nice horses in Central Del Toro, and then also Captain Chuchi's. I mentioned Captain Chuchi's. He just beat Central Del Toro on the wire yesterday in a turf race. That'd be a second level. So looks like Baldoro ran in a couple very live races, ran nicely. We'll put him in there. We'll give him a shot today. If this horse doesn't get it done here, if he has a clean trip, no excuse, it doesn't get it done, then maybe this horse just likes to run in the pack and doesn't like winning. But we'll give him a shot here at 6-1 with Diego Herrera. And then finally, I'm going to put the favorite, who is the 7. The 7-horse being Beef Winslow from the Bob Hess barn. Bob Hess puts Juan Hernandez on the horse. Hernandez looks like takes over for Rispoli, who has ridden this horse the last 2 times. Rispoli's injured, so, those are 2 wins. Hernandez has ridden this horse in the past, so, maybe he's got some familiarity with the horse. This horse, as I mentioned, should be the favorite, 2-1 in the program. Horse is pretty sharp right now, running in open claiming races. Comes in for the claim price here, has gone through this level, in the past, so the $50,000 claim makes him eligible. As we've seen, when Bob Hess horses are sharp and in form, you just kind of keep putting him in there. They stick around, something good with the horse going. Hess barn, gets hot, gets cold, Looks like this is one of the hot horses in his barn. Beef Winslow will be dangerous here, so we'll put the 7 in there. So in the 5th race, to start off the pick 5, we've got the 1, 2, 3, and 7. Move on to the 6th race of the day. 6th race is a 6.5 furlong dirt race. This is an allowance race. This is a fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, haven't won twice, or there's an option to claim for $80,000. And in this race, none of the horses are in for the $80,000. None of them are in for the $80,000 claim. I'm putting 2 horses in here. I'm going to put, I don't know that it's as simple as just putting the Bob Baffert favorite, but I'm going to put the 1 horse who is Magnificat. I'm going to give her another chance here. She's shown some really nice ability out of the Richard Mandela barn. Mirko DeMuro's been on this horse in her 4 starts. He's back on today. You know, the last time they tried Graded Stakes Company, she was a favorite that day. She just kind of ran a flat race. I don't really know what happened. Maybe it just wasn't her day. But her prior races, you know, she's shown some really nice ability, you know, and especially shown a really nice ability at Santa Anita. Has a nice win there. A couple nice speed figures. She ran really tough in the stretch when she won both times. So I think the 6.5 will really help her. We'll see. The horse on the outside there, the 5-horse Thermal, this horse probably gets bet on, but, you know, this horse looks like, you know, she has some trouble finishing her races. I think a horse like Magnificat could certainly pick her up. And I'm going to put the favorite, who is Cash Call, for the Bob Baffert barn. Juan Hernandez takes a call. You know, this horse had a really nice campaign back in 2025, including 3 wins out of 4 starts at Santa Anita. This horse has run, versatile. Has won sprinting, has won routing. Comes off a layoff. They sent her over to Saratoga to run in the Grade 1 test. Tough race to win, you know, shipping from coast to coast. She didn't get it done that day. Obviously, something went amiss because we haven't seen her since last August. She's worked out nicely, as a lot of the Baffert horses do. 4 to 5 in the program. You know, if she's ready to go, she'll be tough in this 6.5. So we'll put the 1 and the 2 in the 6th race. All right, now let's move over to the 7th race of the day. 7th race is the feature of the day. It's the Grade 3 Santa Ana. They're going 1.25 miles on the turf. So when they do that, they kind of run halfway down that hill. They make the bend, go around once, and there's your 1.25 miles on the grass at Santa Anita. Very nice race to watch. Definitely a nice field of horses signed on here. We've got a nice full field of 10. I'm going to put 3 horses in this race. I think one of these 3 gets it done and advances our ticket. I am going to put the 3 horse was Paradise Lake. Peter Urton trains. Juan Hernandez takes the call. I've always liked Paradise Lake. She's done a lot of nice work at Santa Anita on the grass course there. You know, her 4 lifetime wins come on the Santa Anita grass. So she's won at different distances as well. Does show 1.25 mile race. You know, didn't win that race. Has done well at 1.1 miles, including the last time she ran in the Grade 3 Robert Frankel at 1.1 miles, and that was in early January. So she got it done that day. As I mentioned, I've liked this horse before. She shows some nice ability. When it's her day, you know, she could definitely run by this field. We'll see if Hernandez can get the stakes win here. Going to also put the 5 horse being Public Assembly for the Phil D'Amato barn. Florent Giroux takes the call. Now, Giroux is new to this horse. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He's not new to this horse. He rode this horse back a couple of years back at Ellis Park. I'm not sure what the familiarity is there from that long ago, but I'm not going to put too much thought into that one. But this horse has certainly done some nice work in Southern California in graded stakes, so she certainly fits here. We'll see what Giroux can do with this horse here for Phil D'Amato. She just looks to be in pretty decent form. Has gotten beaten by a couple of these. Gotten beat by Paradise Lake. Gotten beat by the favorite Mrs. Astor, who we'll talk about shortly. Certainly fits here. A lot of times these turf races, it can come down to a trip. If you could save ground, rider makes good tactical decisions. Public Assembly certainly can be dangerous here at 5-1. Hopefully we can see a price come in here, that being Public Assembly. Then finally going to put the favorite, who is Mrs. Astor. That's the 10 horse. Comes in for Jonathan Thomas and the Augustin Stables. Always nice to see these folks bringing horses into California. Thank you very much for doing that. You know, you certainly have gotten paid off. It's worked out nicely. Augustin Stables, Jonathan Thomas has won a lot of races in Southern California over the last couple years, including Mrs. Astor. She shows a great record at Santa Anita. 4 wins out of 6 starts, so half of her lifetime wins have come on the Arcadia grass. Antonio Fresu takes the call today. This horse had been ridden regularly by Umberto Rispoli. Of course, he's out. including the last two races this horse has run were both wins, one of them over at Del Mar in the Grade 3 red carpet. And then she ended up winning the Astra at Santa Anita, which is a listed race. Probably not much different than this race, but she got it done there at 1.5 miles. So 1.25 miles should be no problem for Mrs. Astor. She's 5-2, so we'll put her in here. So we've got the 3, 5, and 10 in the 7th race. All right, now let's go over to the 8th race of the day. 8th race, this is a 6 furlong dirt race. They're going 6 furlongs on the dirt, as I mentioned. These are your bottom level claimers, maiden 20,000 claimers, state breds. These are fillies, 3-year-olds. So, you know, this race just really kind of boiled down to 2 horses. It's the 2 favorites. There's not a whole lot of talent in this race, and a lot of these horses just simply, don't want to run much. I'll put the 2 in, Cash and Toknight for Doug O'Neill. Ismail Jaramillo, certainly a great team. We saw what great work they did on Friday. Jaramillo's been on this horse twice. This horse drops into 20. That drop certainly should make her faster. Not like she's a world beater or anything, but should make her faster in this race based on what she's run with, in her previous races. She's shown some decent races at maiden special weight levels. So this, 20,000 comes up much softer than those. So we'll put her in at 7-5, and we'll put the other choice in, which is Twisted Humor for the Jeff Bondi barn. Cristobal Herrera takes the call. Now, generally, I wouldn't be playing Cristobal Herrera, but lately he seems like he's been riding a lot better. I think if you put him on a live horse, he could show something. This horse is 3-2, certainly a live horse in this field. This horse has run with some better horses as well, having competed in the maiden $50,000 California ranks. Has shown some good races. Again, as with the 2 horse, the drop in here for 20,000 should make her much faster and a factor here. We'll see if Cristobal Herrera can get it done. Rooting for him. He's a guy that doesn't get a lot of tries. At one time I was not a fan. I didn't think he was riding well. Been riding well lately. We'll see if he can get it done with a horse like this. So we'll put the 2 and the 6 in the 8th race. All right, now let's go to the 9th race of the day. This is the final race of the day. This is the day capper, and this will be the race that a lot of people are waiting on. We'll see if there's some live pick 6 tickets going, live pick 5, and I'm not sure if the tournament over there in Vegas, the NHC, might end in this race. I'm not sure about that because I wasn't playing in the tournament, but that might be a case there too. So this 9th race can have a whole lot of people waiting on things. The 9th race goes off about 5:06 Pacific, so that's 7:06 here in the Central Time Zone. This is a first level allowance race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. They're going a 6 furlong grass sprint. That's the flat grass there at Santa Anita. I feel like it's a pretty open race here. I'm going to put 4 horses in coverage. I feel like these 4 horses, we're going to have this covered. I hope to have a live pick 5 ticket here, and 4 horses in coverage will be a nice spot to try to get paid. Going to put the 1 horse who is Miyako for George Papapadromo. Florent Giroux takes the call here. Now, these guys have done some nice work together, pairing up. Miyako steps up here to the allowance first level class. Horse has been running in the starter allowance races. It's pretty sharp lately, having 2 out of 3 wins in her last 3 starts. She's 1 for 2 at Santa Anita, so she's definitely fine there. She won sprinting at Santa Anita on the flat grass. Certainly fits here. I don't know how much of a big of a jump it is from what she's been competing with to here. We'll put her in there. It's kind of tough to take out Papapadromo at times. His horses have been running well. Going to put the 2 horse was Miss Kitty Boom, Richard Baltus. Same thing. Baltus horses have been very live lately, so it's tough to take Baltus horses out of there. So Richard Baltus has been training pretty well. Horses have been very live over the last couple weeks. Juan Hernandez takes the call again. Hernandez was on to break the maiden. She broke the maiden in the Santa Anita grass, and that being on a flat grass sprint. She won at 6.5 furlongs on the flat grass. So, she knows this layout. She also did run 6 furlongs on this grass. Her 2 starts, both were very competitive, including the maiden breaker in a special weight race back in mid-February. Miss Kitty Boom could certainly come back after that maiden breaker and certainly win this first level. She's 5-1. We'll put her in there. Going to then go over to the 9 horse. 9 horse being Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks for Phil D'Amato. Now this is a Calbred taking on Open Company. Antonio Fresu takes the call. She's shown some nice races in her 4 career starts. She's got 2 wins, including a win at Santa Anita. Also, I like her last race. She took on Open Company, ran down the hill. I thought she had a tough trip. She came out of that 1 hole in a big field of 11. I don't think she really had a whole lot of room to run during the entire race. I thought she remained competitive, and that kind of race can certainly put her squarely into this race here. Antonio Fresu takes the call again. Fresu was on the horse last time. I don't fault Fresu last time. It just, horse broke from the one hole, kind of just was in there close, not too far off the lead, and just really couldn't get loose there to really run. So we'll put her in there. She can certainly take on open company here and get it done at 5-2. And finally, I'm going to put the 10 horse, who is Tequila in Therapy, for Doug O'Neill. And Doug O'Neill puts on his main man, Ismael Jaramillo. Great team, as we've talked about. Now, Tequila in Therapy, she's another Calbred taking on open. I've seen a couple nice races out of Tequila in Therapy in her career. So she's caught my eye a couple times. I think, this kind of race here, she certainly can be live from this outside post here, maybe getting a stalking trip, something like that. We'll leave it up to Jaramillo. Whatever he decides to do seems to work. So 10-1, nice price here. I could definitely see Jaramillo booting this horse home and, maybe upsetting the apple cart for a lot of tickets, tournament players, whatnot. Hopefully we've got her, a live pick 5 ticket, and Tequila in Therapy can get it done for us here. 10-1 in the program. I think her last few grass starts, certainly make her live in this one. So in the last race, we're going to put the 1, 2, 9, and 10. All right, now let's recap the day and recap the bets. Okay, so for Sunday, March 15th, this is a Pick 6 carryover day at Santa Anita, a great race place. We're going to play the late Pick 5. Late Pick 5 starts in the 5th race. In the 5th race, we're going to start out with the 1, 2, 3, 7. With the 1, 2. With the 3, 5, 10. With the 2, 6. With the 1, 2, 9, and 10. That ticket today is a $96 ticket. I think it's worth it. It offers up a lot of coverage. It could be a good value here. We'll see if we can get some prices home. If you see fit, you want to play as is, I wish you the best of luck. You can always add, subtract to it. If you want to play the pick 3s within it, pick 4 within it, or that late pick 3, whatever you decide to do, I wish you the best of luck. Let's wish the best for the folks over at Santa Anita, a very safe day of racing. Let's wish ourselves some great trips. As we know, that could be the difference between winning and losing a race. So good trips to all of us. As always, I thank you so much for watching Fast Horses Today and listening to the picks. If you haven't done so, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It delivers the content to you for free. Think of it as like a free Uber Eats. You can always like, dislike, make comments, make good comments, make bad comments. I promise to respond to everything. We'll create a discussion. So let's wish for the best here at the end of the week here at Santa Anita, the end of the race week. Let's end this on a winning way. Thank you again for watching Fast Horses Today. We'll see you next week for more coverage.